If you want to learn how to dominate like a pro, then watch this video. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aries, and I'm going to give you some amazing tips on how to get better at Warzone 2.0, and it starts with doing the little things. Whether you're playing the big map Al Mazrah or the smaller resurgence map Ashika Island, if you follow these steps to the left of your screen, it would lead to more consistent and easy wins. I also timestamped the video, so if you want to go ahead and skip around to see whatever you want to see that pertains to your skill level, then go ahead and do so. The number one thing that's going to save your life in this game is learning how to rotate. You can use jet skis, speedboats, cars, helicopters, and even swim underwater. Maybe even toss some smoke grenades to give you further concealment. Even redeploy balloons allow you to quickly cover distances and get the drop on enemy teams. Watch me clutch a 1v4 against his enemy team after dropping in on a redeploy balloon and just completely decimating their team. Check it out.
Back out. He's broken on the roof.
Yep.
He's up.
Hostile UAV overhead.
Just
Right now.
come on. Wow.
Like I said, decimated their team. Also, if you didn't know, there are trains on Al Mazrah. There is a cargo train and a passenger train. So you can also just run up to it, hop on, and just cruise it all the way out. It has plenty of cover. Don't forget that you can also climb to the top of the train. And don't forget, the trains do come to a stop. So if you ever need to get off and get into a fight or do whatever you need to do, just understand the trains do stop. All right, so buy station is going to be the most important thing in the game. So what you're going to do is going to come to this big old box that's right here, and you notice it's closed right now. So that means no one else has been here. I actually just landed in Al Mazrah City. Actually, we're in the desert right now, and it's a a sandstorm. So what you're going to do is going to open up this box, and you're going to come to three main menus. I'm actually going to drop my controller so I can navigate this and show you. So you have gear. All right, if I had money, you can buy armor plates, gas mask, armor box, munitions box. Armor box allows you to get more armor. Munitions allows you to refill you and all of your teammates, ammo, tacticals, and lethals. Kill streaks, we'll get to that later. But here you can buy kill streaks, UAVs, mortar strikes, precisions, even your own loadout. Counter UAVs are also impressive. Revive pistols, self revives, durable gas masks. What I'm saying is buy stations are probably the biggest addition to the game that people just love, and that you just absolutely need to make sure that you understand what you can do in a buy station. So if you have money, never just don't ever just not spend your money. There's no point in dying with the money in this game. So if you have the money for something, go ahead and buy something, okay? Especially UAVs, especially counter UAVs, self revives, all that good stuff, okay? So then you're gonna come back out. There's other things you can do as well, which is buying your primary weapons if you don't have money for a loadout, which costs around $12,000 to $20,000 depending on what mode you're playing. All right, so you can pay $2,500 for any one of your primary weapons, so long as you have it set to your primary gun, which is awesome. Or you can choose a default weapon, and then you can go from there. But really and truly, you want to do a custom loadout, okay? Also, the other thing you can do is you can actually come back and do perk packages. That's up to you though. They're $3,500, but you may just be better off if you're playing solo, just simply buying a loadout. If you're playing a Mazra Warzone 2.0, then pinging is something that you need, absolutely need in the game. It's how you communicate with your teammates if they don't have microphones or if you just simply don't have the time to tell them anything. So what you can do is you can simply go to your map and you can actually have a lot of information. There's apparently a team fighting right here because that's a cluster strike. And I can go ahead and ping that team and say, hey, there's danger in that area. And I can just double tap that area. So if I go back to my regular screen, oh my God, it shows right here. Okay, it's kind of glitched that further up, there's team right here. And I just live ping that kid. All right, I live pinged him and that shows me exactly where he is to my teammates. All right, so if I go back to my main map, he is right here. Now let's just say I have a bunch of pings on the map. And it's super annoying. I don't have time to go to every single ping to get rid of them. What I can do is I can go to my main map again and just simply click R3 and I can get them to disappear quickly without any issues. Watch. Boom. You see that? So I'm gonna try one more time. And R3. See how fast they disappear? Because pings can get very distracting, but that's the fastest way to get rid of pings without having to simply go to your ping and unclick it. Before we get any further into the video, just go ahead and make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, or if you're on any other social media, hit that follow button as well. Now we're on to the part of the video where we're going to talk about our tactical and lethal equipment. They are invaluable to you as a player, especially in solos. It is key that you use your tacticals and lethals well. All right, so we're going to talk about tacticals first. So in tacticals, we have a plethora of things that we can use. All right. These things are going to give you the edge in these gunfights that are kind of sweaty. You don't know if you're going to survive. These things can legitimately save your life. Okay, so you have flash grenades, shock sticks, smoke grenades, stun grenades, decoy grenades, a spotter scope. Don't bother with that. Stim shots, they're useless now in Warzone 2. Warzone 1, they were great. Heartbeat sensors, don't touch this crap. Put it down. Put it down. Okay, don't use this. This thing is awful. All right, snapshot grenades can be somewhat useful, but not necessarily much. And gas grenades, it's okay. But the best ones to use, are flash grenades, smoke grenades, and stun grenades. Oh, by the way, stun grenades are the most broken item in the game. They are awful. If you play Warzone 1, you understand. If you play multiplayer, you understand. If you play Warzone 2, Ashika Island, Al Mazrah, it doesn't matter. Stun grenades are broken. They've been broken with Call of Duty since the existence that Call of Duty has started into the game. It is awful. If you've ever been hit with one of these things, you know the infuriation that you get when you die to this crap. It is broken. But it is still one of the most useful things to use. So therefore, it's still in the game and you still must use it. So what happens with flash grenades is that basically you toss it and in that area, it explodes. Once it explodes, it blinds your entire screen, whether it turns white, because that's what you have the settings to, or black. But no matter what, you can't see, but you can move. So if you know where you're going, even if you can't see your screen, you can simply maneuver out of the way. Shock sticks, what happens is if you run into this thing and somebody throws it at the ground or sticks you with it, you will uncontrollably shoot your gun like... Yeah, it's super annoying, especially if you have a shotgun and letting enemy teammates know where you are at. It sucks. But like I said, flash grenades to me are more useful than shock sticks. It gets you to jump on people and they can't literally see their screen or where they're shooting. All right, smoke grenades. I would say smoke grenades probably have the most use of anything. So smoke grenades, when you're trying to rotate to building and you don't have any kind of cover, smoke grenades can allow you to get cover in between rotations. So if you have multiple smoke grenades, go ahead and toss those things, run through the smoke. You should have cover unless they have thermal sights and you are good to go. I preferably love running smoke grenades because, I mean, hell, half the people in this game don't got aim and, it's just easier to rotate the building and get the high ground on people using smoke grenades. Stun grenades, I'm not gonna go through that again. You'll understand when you see it. And we got decoy grenades. If you get tricked with this, then shame on you. But decoy grenades basically let off the sounds of actual gunfire but it's in actuality is no gunfire at all. Someone just tossed it just to trick you to get you to look the other direction. The spotter scopes are just useless. They just spot and mark enemies from a distance. You can literally do that using the ping system like I showed you earlier in the video. All right, stim shots used to be amazing, but the problem is they don't work as well as they used to. You can stay in the gas. If you have low health, you can revive really a lot faster. But the problem is it takes so long to use now. It sucks. It sucks. Heartbeat sensors. I am so glad they nerfed the hell out of the heartbeat sensors. Basically, if you played Warzone 1, we called this the baby monitor. Okay. Basically what this did was if you were within 50 friggin' meters not 50 feet, not 50 yards, 50 meters. If you were within 50 meters and I took this heartbeat sensor and it is a 90 or 180 degree angle, and I'm sitting here like this with it, I don't even have to look at my screen. I could just sit there, hold it out, and guess what? I now ping you on the heartbeat sensor, which is basically a mini UAV. These things were a crutch all throughout Warzone 1, and I'm glad they actually added a battery. They nerfed the distance, and they just suck now to use. You don't ever pick these up because honestly, if somebody's within 15 meters of you, because that's the distance now, maybe even closer, you're probably gonna die. That if you have to use a heartbeat for that, it's just dumb. You could probably hear them. All right, snapshot grenades are actually more useful because they actually light people up through the wall, and you can see people through walls and or however far you throw this thing. Tear gas is kind of annoying more than anything because it slows you down. You can't sprint through it, and it makes you cough. It gets away your position. But like I said, the best ones are the stun grenades, smoke grenades, and flash grenades. As far as, you know, blinding someone or just getting the drop on someone. Smoke grenades used to rotate, which is what I prefer to use. Now let's get back on to the lethal equipment. So my favorite lethal equipment by far is the throwing knives, but we'll get there in a second. I don't know if you can see it on the screen. Yes, you can see it on the screen. It is the throwing knives. It gets people out of the game like that. But we're going to start from the front. All right. So frag grenades, they're okay. Basically, you take the pin out of the grenade, you hold it for a couple seconds and you toss it. Don't kill yourself. You'll blow up. But that's pretty much a frag grenade. I think everyone knows what a frag grenade is. A proximity mine, what this does is you can toss it on the ground. It has a certain point of activation. So the moment you throw it on the ground, it doesn't activate instantly. So in case somebody's directly behind you, it may not go off when they're running past you. But what happens is it's basically called the bouncing Betty. And if you run past it, if you come in anywhere in the proximity of it, it will basically fly up off the ground, spin, and shoot out these projectiles and explode at you. And the only way to not take damage from it is you have to go prone instantly. That's the only way. All right. So this is called the proximity mine. The drill charge is by far my second favorite, if not my first favorite to use. This gets rid of the campers in the game. Yes, I'm talking about you. If you are a camper in the game, you are the reason I use this drill charge. And I have multiple. And I have a munitions box where I can restock it. And I probably have restock. I'm about to drill charge the hell out of you. I'm going to drill you so hard. It's going to charge you. Anyway, so basically, drill charge. Can you tell I hate campers? I do. But sometimes I camp too. It really just depends. But drill charge is basically you throw it at the wall or at some kind of surface. And what happens is anyone on the opposite side of that surface or wall, you will take damage or get knocked or go down or die. So basically it's basically like a sticky grenade in a way, except it goes through walls in the game. So if you're camping in a building and you're thinking completely safe, I can throw it on a roof. Boo! Michael Jordan, Kobe. I can throw it. Let's just say we're in a building and you're above me in the next room and I have to go upstairs and you're pre-aiming the stairs and I don't want to just run into your bullets. What I can do is I can simply throw it at the ceiling. You're going to have to move. It's going to explode. And now I can now change the angle where you're going to be and hurry up and sprint up those stairs and get the drop on you like that, just by simply using a drill charge. Molotovs are okay too. They just, they're basically alcohol and, fire. You just throw it and it explodes. It's pretty cool when it happens, but like I said, the drill charges are pretty much the way to go. Semtex is cool. You can stick somebody with it. You can stick it to any wall. It sticks to any surface. Unlike the frag grenade, which actually rolls around and bounces around. The C4 is actually, I think C4 does almost the most damage out of all the lethals. In Warzone 1, if you remember, you could throw it as far as you freaking want. You could throw it like 50 doggone feet damn near, and you can blow up an entire caravan of people, which is pretty insane. It was pretty awesome. I'm gonna see if I can get some clips. But now C4s are kind of like, meh, they're okay. They just bloop, they just drop. Claymores are cool too, except people can see the red line. So if you have claymores, proximity mines, these people typically run claymores to proximity mines just because they camp a lot and they want to, you know, they want to defend the building that they're in. So if you're playing multiplayer, people typically run proximity mines and claymores because it's highly and super effective. And it also tells you where an enemy team is when they blow up because you put them there. All right. Thermites are okay. They're similar to thermal knives. If someone has a riot shield, use a thermite or a drill charge. It sticks to their riot shield. If you know what I'm talking about, riot shields are pretty much impervious to any kind of damage you put in the game. So a drill charge will stick to them, a Semtex will stick to them, Molotovs work, and so does thermites. I think thermites are probably the best to use if you're doing against a riot shielder. But other than that, I prefer either the throwing knives or the throwing stars. Basically what ninjas use. Basically, this gets you out of the game. The moment I get the knock on you, I'm like, boop, 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 boop. Let's just say I shot 15 bullets and I have a 50 round mag, that it is 35 bullets left. Let's just say I'm fighting 3 people. Instead of using an extra 10, 15 bullets to kill you, I can just simply hit you with a throwing knife, which you've probably seen in some of my clips. And I don't have to use any more ammo to kill you when I could just use that ammo on the rest of your team without having to reload. Therefore, the throwing knives and the throwing stars, to me, are the best lethals in the game. All right, in this section of the video, we're going to talk about kill streaks. Yes, kill streaks. This means you have UAVs, bomb drones. Thank you God they got these mostly out of the game. These things were awful. Counter UAVs, cluster mines, also another awful thing to have in the game. Sorry, Call of Duty. And you could also have precision airstrikes, mortar strikes, and if I'm not mistaken, I think that's it. I think you have an advanced UAV. These are all Warzone specific. Everything else is multiplayer specific, but I'm going to go ahead and teach you every last one of the ones for Warzone only. All right, UAVs. UAVs is probably the most important one. You're going to be using this the most out of anything. What is a kill streak? This thing is what you get at your buy station or when you're just looting in Battle Royale. All right, you can pick this up off the floor. You can pick it up off enemy bodies. You can also go to the buy station and buy these things. Thank you God. Now you can buy multiple. UAVs basically are going to show up on your minimap and show enemy teams exact location on the minimap. What it's going to have is going to have a red dot with an up or a down arrow or no arrows at all. If it has an up arrow, that means there's somewhere above you in that exact spot. If it has a down arrow, it's going to be somewhere on a lower level than you in that exact spot. If there is no arrow anywhere above the red dot, basically that just means they're on the same level as you. And from there, you can just go ahead and try to push and get those kills. All right. And you want to pop as many UAVs as you possibly can. So the moment you get one, pop it. Go ahead. If you have enough money, go ahead and buy them again. They're typically $6,000 in Warzone. I cannot stress this enough. If you have money for a UAV, buy one. Use it to rotate. It's going to help you. It's going to help you a lot. Counter UAVs. This basically blocks your entire minimap and does this like fuzzy, staticky thing. Basically, you can't use your minimap, which is how you're going to use your UAVs. So basically, if somebody uses this counter UAV, you know someone is in the area because it shows you the general area. It's going to be the direct center of where somebody used that counter UAV. You can't shoot them out of the air. So can you do UAVs? Except these are hard to shoot out of the air and you're going to give away your position. Same thing with counter UAVs, except these are easier to spot. Go ahead and destroy them. So here's the funny thing. When someone uses a UAV, the counter to that is a counter UAV if you don't want to be seen on the mini map or the main map. All right. Cluster mines. This thing is the bane of my existence. I have died to these things on not just multiple occasions, like whatever more is more than multiple. I don't know, but this thing is ridiculous. They're hard to see if you're not paying attention. And basically someone drops it, it scatters out many tiny bombs. And what happens is you get hit by one or two of them. It sets off the rest of them. And it's like 8 little clusters that it drops. And you're basically dead if you get hit by this. You're dead. You have no chance. And it also alerts the other team. It slows down your movement. It just sucks. Precision airstrikes, pretty much if you knock somebody on top of a rooftop or a building, or if you snipe somebody, you want to go ahead and use this instantly. You basically call it in. You put it exactly where you knock someone, and this should be able to get you to kill as fast as possible, or at least re-knock them again. These are probably next to the UAVs. This is probably the next kill streak that you want to get. The mortar strike, this thing is annoying. So they actually buffed this since Warzone 1. In Warzone 2, it has a ridiculous amount of actual strikes that it does. So basically it's similar to the precision airstrike, except when you call it in, except basically you just have a bunch of bombs that just drops out of the air wherever you mark it, and it hits randomly in that spot. The problem is it lasts like 10 friggin' minutes, and most of the time it doesn't even get the killer or not. But you really want to use this in rotations in case people have the high ground. All right. And then we get to the advanced UAV as soon as I can find it. So the advanced UAV is basically a better version of the regular UAV. Your regular UAV is just going to give you a red dot. The advanced UAV, however, is going to show you the direction. It's going to be a triangle, and it's going to show you the direction that they're actually facing and how fast they're moving in real time. The only problem with this is you can't see if they're above or below you, which is kind of stupid to me. Put an arrow on that joint. All right. And that pretty much sums up all the kill streaks there is in Warzone. All right, now we're going to talk about field upgrades. You can only have one at a time on your body. That is it. But they are useful. And if you remember Warzone 1, some of these field upgrades were busted. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So if you do remember, they've changed some of the field upgrades from Warzone 1 to Warzone 2. So they've added in a tactical camera, useless, inflatable decoy. If it may or may not get you, but basically it's a decoy balloon thingy. You drop it, you shoot at it, or something like cause damage to it. It pops up and it looks like a regular person is just standing there, and you might think that's a real person. It's not. It's just a decoy. DDoS. I still don't know what this is. I have never used this. I don't know what it is. No one's ever used it. It's basically useless to me. I have zero clue. Go ahead and Google it, what it does, and find another YouTube video on it. All right. Deployable covers are probably one of my favorites. You can use them to get mounted kills. You can use them for cover if you're out in the open and you're holding the high ground. These are pretty useful, and you get to go ahead and drop them and use them to mount up, which actually helps your aim a lot as well. Trophy systems are useful. You can actually use this to protect yourself against grenades or explosives, RPGs. They don't last forever, but they are useful. If you're driving on a vehicle and you see somebody throw a C4 grenades, you can go ahead and toss this on top of your vehicle and drive around with it, and it should deflect most explosions, which is very helpful. Dead silence is okay. They nerfed it. They nerfed it since Warzone 1, which I am so happy about. I freaking hated dead silence. Basically, you can't hear that person anymore. But when you activate it, it sounds as loud pitch sounding noise, which is kind of weird. But so that it alerts basically everybody that, hey, this person's using dead silence. Be aware, you might get flanked from behind. But dead silence, basically, you can't hear the person coming. That's all. For a certain amount of time, and you're good to go. All right, munitions box is probably like one of the second or third most important things in the game. If you have no ammo, you need to buy one of these. Like, that's plain and simple. If you have no lethals, no tacticals, no ammo, and your whole team just needs it as well, you can go ahead and buy one of these things or find it, drop it on the ground. You can restock all of your equipment. All right, loadout drops. I mean, what is Warzone without loadouts? I can't believe they actually had Warzone without loadouts when it first dropped a couple months ago, back in what, December? I don't know if y'all remember that. They didn't let you get your loadout in Warzone. Why even play it? I worked hard on my gun, whatever. Anyway, I'm not at it anymore. They brought it back. You can now get your loadout in Warzone 2, and it costs a lot of money. If you find someone on an enemy dead team, they wasted it. They're stupid. So all of these are useful in Warzone, except for the DDoS. Like I said, I still don't. I don't know what the hell this is. A portable radar. This is probably my favorite actual field upgrade. Basically, I'm an aggressive player, and if I don't have a UAV on me to find out where other enemy teams are, I go ahead and drop this on the ground, and it starts pinging them in that small surrounding area in that building like crazy. I love it. Every time I enter a building and I'm pushing a team and I have this, I drop it if I don't have a UAV. It is awesome. Tactical insertions don't work in Warzone 2. It's just multiplayer specific, and Battle Rage to me is kind of useless because it makes you like, I think in the Warzone 1, if I'm not mistaken, it just made you extra loud and faster and whatnot. But I guess Battle Rage is pretty good in Warzone 2. I've just never used it. Recon drone, I would never be sitting still long enough to use it. But if you are sitting still, you're camping, this might be good to use. I think this is only multiplayer specific. Suppression mines. Actually, this will help a little bit. If you find one, if you have nothing else, go ahead and equip it. You might as well. Basically, somebody's trying to flank you, put it in a spot. They're either going to have to shoot it before they get to you, or B, and you're going to get notified, or B, if they run into it, it's going to slow them down, and you're going to basically be notified that someone's being suppressed via the suppression mine. And that pretty much covers all of the field upgrades. By far, like I said, the portable radar is by far my favorite. It is what it is. All right, guys, that marks the end of the video, and I really hope and appreciate you guys for watching all the way through. If I missed anything, go ahead and comment down below. If I missed anything, you want to see it in another video, tell me what I could have done better. But I really do appreciate all of you for watching and sticking around and making this fun for me to make as well. So until next time, peace out.